Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Dark Souls 2 walkthrough. That right there is me giving you an example of what my stats are at this moment in time. And for anybody who's interested in following the build exactly, you can pause it, you can imitate it. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be buying some stock off of this lady, and we're going to be going and upgrading whatever's left to be upgraded to get that last bit of oomph before we go for the final area of the game. So, looking at this, I have a +7 Dark Mace that's going up to plus a little bit higher. It's going up to maximum, which is nice to see. And then this one also going to max. And then we have the Kythus Chime, which takes chunks. So we can't quite get that high enough. But if you're playing this and you're playing it with more time than I allocated to myself to make it, you at this point could quite easily have fully upgraded weapons. You could quite easily have much better stats and attacks than I do, as you've just seen. I'm showing you the damage that I'm capable of doing, showing you my ring setup and everything, just to give those people that really want to adhere to the build and see what my damages are, as you just saw the counter there. And some of you might be thinking, well, why aren't you a higher level? Why aren't you this? Why aren't you that? It was all intentional, folks, for just keeping the character to the build I wanted, you know, not getting him to the state where he would truly demolish the game, because there's no real need for that, and if anybody wants to do that, they can. That's the luxury. But we're back over with Macduff, and I'm going to be applying a Dark Stone, or Dark Night Stone, to my Chime, to give me that extra bit of dark damage on it, and at this point, the build is complete. He has 2 powerful weapons, one of them elemental, one of them non-elemental. I don't have words anymore. Non-elemental, sorry. And now our Chime is not quite powerful enough to be completely maxed, but still given that extra oomph, which is always good to see. So we're going to Aldia's Keep, and Aldia's Keep is accessed via the Shaded Woods. And to get there, you need the King's Ring. And no doubt, if you're playing on your first time and you're struggling and you're using this walkthrough, you've probably come up here wondering what the hell it is. Well, this place is 2 things. The first thing is, it's the graveyard of the Red Tearstone Ring. That shiny over there, I refuse to pick up, because it is the single biggest disappointment in this game for players who enjoyed it in the previous one. Instead of getting a, what was it, 40%, 50% damage buff when you were in critical, you now get a 20% damage buff, which is pretty much the difference between farting as you swing. And it's a joke, and it's definitely on my patched list, because they killed a ring I loved.
The people feared the cursed ones like a plague. Some people would rather keep dreadful things out of sight, out of mind.
But this is Aldia's Keep, and this is one of the most disappointing areas of Dark Souls 2 for me personally, because it looks amazing and it's completely underused. I don't understand it. This area here in particular, this courtyard, is incredibly embellished and awesome looking, yet it holds nothing but a few items and some enemies that you'll probably never fight because they're not very fun to kill. You can't invade here, you can't be invaded here. There's really nothing you can do with this place except wonder why the hell they designed it to be so wide and interesting when it got used so very little. And I don't have the answers for that, but there is an NPC invasion coming up, and it's with a character you might recognise. His name is Azlatil. It is Lucatiel's brother. So you don't have to kill him if you don't want to, you can run away. You cannot usually get the backstab off because they roll really quickly away. And as you see, you get invulnerability when you're invading, if you didn't know. But I'm not... Ah, there we go, I wasn't power stancing. So you'll notice I did one swing and I was curious why the hell it didn't do the move I wanted. And it's because I wasn't power stanced. And I think I haven't mentioned how you power stance, which is probably a bit of an oversight on my part. Which is... when you have 1.5 requirements in strength and dex of whatever a weapon requires, if you hold Y, your character will do this awesome shuffle with his hands, and you'll be able to kick some ass with those weapons that you're holding. And that is pretty much what we're doing in this walkthrough. But anybody who saw early promotional material for this game will recognise the crazy dragon moment. You'll also notice that this place looked a lot nicer back then, because it's been stripped down and, you know, It's another graveyard of an area where nothing really interesting happens. There's a couple of ascetics in a chest. There's a giant curse rog you can fight if you choose to. And then there's this corridor which is also very reminiscent, yet I don't understand it so much because there's so many interesting things about this area, yet nothing is done here. There's no real items that you need to get. There's no real need to explore it once you've already done it. It's kind of baffling. And I've taken my rings and my equipment off because I'm about to drop down this hole. And at the bottom of this hole, there is the corrosive water, and there's 2 of those undead dog creatures. So down here, there is a key, and there's a couple of other shinies, but all I really want is the key, and the key is to my left. So there's a couple of interesting stuff there. I mean, if you're a spellcaster, you'll want that because it was, before the patch, the most powerful spell, but I don't think it's as good as it used to be. But once you open the door, you can cancel door animations by rolling, but only on specific doors. If you do it on the 2-handed doors, it'll actually reverse the animation and close again, which I find very funny to watch, but it doesn't really do much. There is your secret bonfire. This one is going to make it a little bit easier on the folks who aren't very good at fighting the Guardian Dragon, which is the boss that's coming up. Also, if you've been with this channel a while and you saw the fog gate farming method, which a lot of people have mentioned doesn't work on PC, well, I can pretty much confirm now it doesn't work on console. I cannot find the patch notes for the most recent patch, which gave it 1.5 calibration, because there doesn't seem to be anything definitive on what they changed aside from a couple of things, and none of them mention the fog gate farming method with the NPCs. But what I do know is every time I've tried it since, I get a save icon as I pass through the fog, or I get a save icon before it. It's almost like they've upped the ante of the auto-saving. So I'm not saying it's completely gone from the game, I'm just saying when I tried it here to get the monastery headpiece, and when I tried it, where else did I try it? I tried it somewhere else and it wasn't the wharf area. It didn't work, and it didn't work consistently, so it makes me think it's been addressed, but it's been addressed quietly, which I don't support if it has, because I'm all for patching problems out, but they need to patch the drop rate, because on this game, as it stands, the drop rate is horrible. You know, there's a lot of things that need to be tweaked, and I'm looking forward to the days that when they do, but the boss fog method made it so that you could actually get things quite reliably, and you weren't breaking the game, you weren't damaging other people's experiences, and you weren't voiding the player agreement. You know, you were just tricking a fog door in a save. That was literally it. And now it's gone. But here's the Guardian Dragon, a very interesting boss, this guy. He has 3 physical attacks that you want to watch out for. He has a head slam, or like a head hook when you're in front of him. He has a stomp that is awesome if you can chain it like this, although it does have some wicked range. Kind of bullshitty if you ask me, as it hits me twice when it shouldn't have. And he also has a tail sweep when you're behind him. When he jumps up in the air, he has 2 flame moves. One of them is a fireball, which if you're anywhere near it, you're dead, because it's ridiculously stupid. The other one is similar to this. It's a massive radius of fire, which I'm trying to exploit to hit him with some resonant souls. The thing I didn't mention is magic against this guy is amazing. If you have scraps of life or great resonant soul, you can kill that thing on New Game Plus in seconds. You know, I'm on New Game 15 in Aldia, and that guy goes down really quickly with this spell on that, as much as he does in New Game, so you can really get some fast kills on him. That right there is a dragon scale, which farming dragon scales on this game is very difficult unless you go online. So unless you want to do 30 playthroughs to get that one repeatedly, online might be the best way to get shit done. But ride the elevator, which looks considerably better than the one that led us to Iron Keep. And at the top of here we will be entering into the Dragon Eyrie and the next video. So, as always folks, thank you for subscribing if you're new. I've seen, you know, quite a nice bump in people watching the videos, which is always nice. And yeah, you take care now.